Okay, let's try it. Ready? Jaden, what'd you get? Just want to know the answer.
Still doing it.
Okay, Josh, what'd you get?
Oh, you want to know the whole answer?
Just give me the answer. That's all I care about.
I got -3 plus 7.
-3 + 7i. Let's take a look. Ready? You know why I said subtraction's harder? Because back in October I told you this. When you see a minus sign in front of grouping symbols, what do you do?
Yeah.
-2? Okay. All right. Anyways, what do you do with the negative? Yeah, and there's actually a -1 here. So what's that? Negative, yeah, -1 times -9 is +9, followed by what? What? Okay, there you go. And then over here you get what? Okay, here we go. Real parts are what?
7 plus 1.
What's that?
16.
16
Plus 2i minus 5i.
plus 2i. Take away
3i.
5i is what?
-3i.
Okay. All right. Josh, you okay? With what happened? You didn't run your negatives through.
I didn't.
That's my guess. And that happens. That's why subtraction is harder. Okay. All right. Let's just continue. Keep going, guys. I'll just call your name in about 15 seconds.
Roll.
Guys, you gotta try it, because if you try it and you make a mistake, I think Josh learned probably more than some of you, because he made a mistake and now he figured it out. It's okay to make mistakes. Just do it. You can. I'm gonna run it through. Yeah, what's up? No. You guys, this says 11. Subtract what? -1 plus 6i. You have to run this through, don't you? Okay, so it's 11. Now what?
Plus 1.
Plus 1
Minus 6i.
minus 6i. Yep. You guys have to understand, negatives just do what to the numbers inside? Changes them to the opposite. That's all it does. Okay, then followed by a plus sign. Do you do anything with pluses?
No.
No. Plus what?
4.
Plus 4. Plus what else?
Minus
-3i. There you go. That's what you should have wrote down. Okay? All right, Jaden, what's your answer? Just curious. Oh, I don't want to hold on. Brandon, what'd you get?
Well, you see,
No, I don't want the stories. Just give me an
Oh, I
answer.
had it.
Is it 16 plus 6i?
Say again.
16 plus 6i?
16 plus 6i says Mary. Okay, let's see.
I got it.
Okay, hang on. No, I'm just taking one answer. Here we go. Let's see if Mary's right. Okay, first of all, I got 11 plus 1. 12 plus 4.
16.
6. Oh, she got 16. Good. Now, imaginary part. -6i. -3i. Back up 6. Back up 3. -9i.
Okay, so I didn't get that part right. Okay.
So I'm thinking, did you not write minus?
I don't know. I didn't. Wait.
Okay. Well, sometimes we mess up a sign. When you mess up a sign, you mess up the problem. Okay. Okay, guys. What do you notice is different on this one? You got a radical. Take care of your radical. Now, guys, if I cover everything up, what's the square root of -64? 8i. Okay, 8i. But then, bring what down?
Negative.
Okay, so it becomes -8i. Okay, you're done with that. That's all done.
Oh, yeah, I didn't.
Okay, now continue. All right, I run the negative through. What's a negative do to a -6? Makes it plus 6. And then, yeah, negative does what to a positive i? Makes it -i. Okay, so look at the real numbers. Where do you see real numbers? No.
Oh.
The real number. 6. 6 is the only real number. There's nothing to do. The answer is 6. Okay, now look for imaginary numbers. Well, they're everywhere. Here, here, here. Well, 22 take away 1. 21i. 21i take away 8i. 13. Positive or negative? Bingo. 6 plus 13i done. Hey, why don't I just add those two? 6 plus 13. Well, they're not the same number. There's a real number and a imaginary number. You can't touch them. That's part of the answer. It's real plus imaginary. Okay. Add, subtract is not bad. Multiply, there's a trick. Okay? Yeah, I'm sorry. That day 7 should never have been there. That day 7 should not be. Okay? All right, guys, here we go. Multiplying complex numbers. You cannot tune out now. No tuning out. Go like this. Wake yourself up. Put the shoulder. Okay. Here we go. If you miss the trick, you're gonna get lost. Okay. Tell me what square root of 5 times square root of 5 is. Why? Why is it 5? Because it's the square root of 25, and the square root of 25 is 5. Okay. What's the square root of 7 times square root of 7? You don't say 49. Just say 7. So when you take a radical times itself, you get the number inside, right? Okay, what's the square root of 1 times square root of 1? Oh, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. What's the square root of negative 1 times square root of negative 1? 1. No, going back here.
Negative 1.
This is 5. This is 7. This is. Right?
Yep.
Following the pattern, it's negative 1. Now, here's what I wrote to you. I wrote you a little comment. The square root of negative 1 is really just I. Square root of negative 1 is really just I. So I'm making you multiply. What's an I times an I? Guys, we did this in chapters 5. When you take I times x, you get x squared. I times I, you get I squared. Okay, wait a second. If this times this really means I times I, which is I squared, here you get negative 1. That means I squared must equal, right? And that's the trick. Every time you see I squared, you think to yourself, I'm really looking at what number? Negative 1. Okay? Okay. I times I is I squared. And I proved it up here that negative 1, square root of negative 1 times square root of negative 1 is negative 1. Okay, so now I can just say I squared is always negative 1. Which to me says this. Oh, by the way, behind the box, I wrote that. I didn't want you to see it until now, but I squared will always be what? 1. Okay, write it down once, twice, 3 times. Do not forget that, because if you forget that, you will get a ton of these wrong. Almost every one will do that. Okay, so I squared is what? Okay, so that means if you end up with 7i squared, you won't leave your answer 7i squared. You'll write 7 times negative 1, which is? No. Yeah, I squared is negative 1. 7 times negative 1 is? Negative 7, right? Okay, that's what it means. Every time you see an I squared, replace it with what? Negative 1. Okay. Here we go. Today you will multiply. When you multiply, first do this. Just follow me on this. We're going to do this, okay? Simplify all your what? You know what that is? That's yesterday. That's exactly what you did yesterday. Okay? Step 2. Multiply your what? Your coefficients first. Then multiply your what? Variables. Treat your imaginary number as a what?
Variable.
Okay. So just remember, I is like a variable. Use the distribution property and the FOILing property to help you multiply. Now guys, you come back here and read this when we're all done, and you'll go, oh my gosh, this makes sense now. Right now it doesn't make much sense to you, but you will understand it in about 5 minutes. Here we go. Simplify your what? Your negative radicals. Who knows the square root of negative 16?
4.
4i. Who knows the square root of negative 4? 2i. What are we doing to these two numbers? No.
Multiply.
Yeah, go like this. Put grouping symbols. It makes more sense to me. What's a 4i times a 2i?
8i
Squared.
squared.
Take your coefficients 4 and 2.
8
8. Take your i's, which are like variables. I times I. I squared. Is that the answer?
No.
No. I squared is
8 times negative 1.
negative 1. Yep. And that means the answer is
8. Negative 8.
negative 8. Bingo. We got it. We're done. The answer is negative 8. Okay. Continue. Ready? Square root of negative 25. Take it all of it, and square it. Well, simplify your negative radicand. What is this inside here?
5.
Yeah, it's 5i.
And then
But then you gotta square it, don't you? Okay. You go back to chapter 5 now in your head. When you multiply two numbers and you square everything, you square the 5 and get what?
25.
You square the I.
I squared.
Okay. Which turns into 25 times what?
1 equals.
Which means the answer is? Yeah? Period 1 got lost on this one. Period 2 got lost, but period 2 did something different. They actually asked a question. They didn't let me go on. They just said, wait, you lost me. Period 1 just went, I don't know what he's doing, but I'm not going to say anything. Okay. See that number out there?
Yep.
Okay, it's just like saying this. I got a number, 3. The number inside is x plus 2. So when we do this, 3x, this, 6. Don't we just say 3x plus 6? It's the same thing. Now you guys, you need to simplify your negative radicand. What's the square root of negative 5? Negative 5i is not right. Okay, watch this. Negative 5 is really just negative 1 times 5. What's the square root of negative 1? I. What's the square root of 5?
Square root of 5.
I don't know. So you know what the number on the outside is? I root 5 times. Yeah, this is the same thing. I root 5.
3.
No, not square root of negative 9 is not 3.
I root 9.
No,
3i.
isn't it just 3i?
Yeah.
Well, look, Jade, watch. Isn't this just negative 1 times 9? So that's 3, that's I, 3i. Okay, so guys, here we go. Let's multiply. We're gonna distribute it through. This is where they get lost. Period 2, period 1. Ready? You take this number times this number. Do you see anything that I can multiply really quick? I times I. I squared. Thank you. Okay, wait. Square root of 5 times square root of 5. You can say square root of 25, but why are you? Just say 5. Okay, so the answer is 5i squared. Are you lost? Or are you okay?
Good.
Okay, next. This one times this one. You've got to look for things you can multiply. Like, okay, can you multiply root 5 times 3? No, they're not. It's got to be root times root or real times real. Okay, so you can't do anything. So that's just 3 root 5. And then wait a second. I times I squared. Okay. Now the I squared could be in between the 3 and the root, but I don't care right now. Okay, what do you know about I squared? It is negative 1. So if I went like this, would you understand what I'm doing? Cross it out. Just put what? Times negative 1. So what's negative 1 times 3 root 5? Negative 3 root 5. With a what out here? 5 times, what's this number?
So it'd just be negative 5.
Negative 1. So that's negative 5.
Negative 5 minus 0 5 0.
Okay.
Wait.
So what do I do now? Do I have like radicals?
No.
This is negative 5 with no root 5. This is negative 3 with a root 5. Can I combine them?
No.
No. You can only join them if they have the same radical. A root 5 plus a root 5, go ahead. You're done. The only thing I'm going to say, I'm not going to say anything. Let's just call it good. It's not that it's a hard problem. It's just that there's a lot in it. And because there's a lot in it, I had to go really slow. Any questions? Go ahead.
For the I, the second, how did you get the -1 again?
Well, that's what I was proving to you way back here. I said, always remember, I squared is -1.
Okay.
You have to remember that. Every time you see an I squared, Jordan, cross it, just get rid of it, put -1.
So no matter what, it will become -1.
Well, so 3 root 5 times I squared is 3 root 5 times -1.
Okay.
And -1 just changes the sign. Okay? All right, these next two, not too bad. Easy. You get 10 seconds and 10 seconds. Go. Isaiah, what'd you get on this one? Negative 30. Isaiah gets negative 30. Let's check it out. What's 5i times 6i? 30 I squared. Then you got to realize I squared is really.
-1, so it's 30 times -1, x is -30.
So you got it right. Okay. Next, Brandon, what'd you get?
30.
30. Okay, let's see if he's right. What's 5i times negative 6i?
Negative
-30.
30. I squared.
I squared.
-30.
Which is -30 times -1. 30. Those two problems were not meant to be hard for you. Just a quick reminder. Okay, this is kind of like this, right? Okay. What's the square root of -5? I think we just did it up there, didn't we? I root 5 times 5. Oh, there's not much to do to this problem to start with. Did I lose you from here to here?
No.
Okay, ready? I root 5 times 5. Okay, can any of these be multiplied? That's a 5, it's a real number. That's a radical, and that's imaginary. None of them are really the same thing, so you just copy it down. And I would, if I were you, I'd put my real part there. I like the I here, and then root 5. That's the way I like to write it. You can write it any way you want, but that's the way I like it.
So we technically are multiplying 5 and I.
5 times, okay, 5 times I is 5i, and then times root 5. You can, Colby, I said you can write it any order. Okay. Now, next up, this one. Okay, 3 times root 5.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. Just write it down. 3 root 5, right? But then it's I times I. I squared. Now, to me, this one, there's really not much to do. What about that I squared? And -1 times 3 root 5 is? Yep. And then out here you got what? 5i root 5, okay. Now guys, here, in period 1 we said, let's add them, let's subtract them, because it's root 5 minus root 5. But then I said this, is that in complex form? Are you sure? Complex form means a plus bi. Where's the real number? Which one's the real number?
3.
Yeah, guys, you have it. It's all done. This is done because if you want, take the real number, which is right here. -3 root 5. And now this is the imaginary part. Positive what?
5i root 5.
Yep. So you are done. Once you get it in complex form, you are done. Now you could actually add the 2, but then you'd have it wouldn't be in standard form. I just quit right there. I will.
So -3 root 5 is just the one term.
Yeah, that's A. Yeah. Colby's asking me this. This number, it is A. Plus, is this BI?
Yeah.
Yep. So what is the A value? -3 root 5. What's the B value?
5i.
No, the B value is 5 root 5. All right. I don't have time to do 2 of them. This one. Guys, stop. Listen. I haven't done one of these. This is a binomial. Times a binomial. Do you remember in chapter 5? We did what to them? We foiled. Yep. All right, ready? Inner. I'm sorry. First gives you what? 1. Outer. Inner. Last times last. Minus 4 I squared. Sorry, I'm going so fast. What about the 2i and the minus 2i? 1. Negative 4 times negative 1. Guys, what's negative 4 times negative 1? Plus 4. Answer? 5. Okay, this one, I'm just going to write, foil. 21 plus 27i. Write that down. That's the answer. Just don't get you.